it's Morgan. Welcome to my Angel rewatch. So I'm rewatching the TV show Angel, and this is the second half of this rewatch. It picks up with, I think, episode 14 in season 1, somewhere in the middle of season 1. It picks up with the episode Expecting. So if you want to hear my thoughts on the earlier part of the season, then you can find the links to that video down below, and I will continue with the second half of season 1. So I watched Expecting. I watched it a few days ago, and then my roommate walked in like right at the very end. So I stopped it and like I was helping her move and stuff. But now I can talk about it, and it was much better than I thought it was. It was actually hilarious. I loved the beginning. I loved Wesley and Angel like breaking into the random house and then realizing it wasn't the right house with the demon. They got the wrong one. Like, there were so many funny comedic moments, and even though the premise still creeps me out, like, I don't like the idea of demons going around and impregnating women with their demon children, but you know, I guess it happens. I just watched number 13, which is which is the one with the demon lady who comes from another portal in a dimension in which the men are like extremely patriarchal. That seems like an understatement. Slave owners and controlling and manipulative jerks. I'm trying to keep it PG here. And they control their women and take away all of their freedom and their basically personality. So I thought the concept was really cool, but the execution is kind of It seems like they're trying to do the Star Trek thing, but they're not quite at that level yet where they can explore like a whole different culture, because I don't know, I just feel like there's enough with the monster of the week, like demons in our world or in the Buffy universe, the Angel universe. Like, there's already enough there that they don't need like portals with whole societies, because we're not really getting the full society, we're just getting part of it. And I don't know, it kind of dragged on for me. So it's definitely not one of my favorite episodes, but I appreciate the concept, and I do think it's interesting, and I guess I felt like they could have done a lot more with it. It made it a lot better than they did. I did appreciate Angel and Wesley dancing. Well, Wesley dancing and Angel imagining dancing. And I love the scene where Angel grabs he tries to grind the coffee with his vampire strength, and it doesn't work. So I just watched episode 14. It wasn't very good. I felt like the middle of it dragged. I was getting really bored. I liked the end. The end was probably the best part for me, because I'd forgotten that there was that twist where it's like, oh, the demon actually wasn't as evil as the human child. That was pretty cool. I like that. But at the same time, I feel like it messes with psychology, because I don't know how much I believe in real evil being born evil. You know, it's that whole like, is evil, like, are people born evil or are they created evil? I don't know. I just feel like most children that have problems like that, like most children who would set their house on fire or who would attempt to murder their siblings, like, I feel like they're not evil. There's something wrong there that needs to be treated, especially if they're that young. So like the idea of, oh no, this person is just destined for pure evil with no empathy, no soul whatsoever, like that aspect of it, like, I don't know how much I like that. But I did like the idea of, oh, the human part is actually bad. Like, the child is not the innocent. We always assume that the child is innocent, but in this one case, it's not. Like, that part I liked. We don't see a lot of characters besides Angel. Like, it's just Angel and then the characters that he's interacting with in those episodes that aren't like on his team. We saw a little bit of Cordelia and Wesley, but not very much. Kate was only in it for like 5 seconds. So I'm hoping that we'll maybe be introduced to more characters soon, or they'll step up and help more. So I wasn't a big fan of 15 either, which is the one where Kate's dad dies, and I guess Angel's kind of investigating the demon drug lord who the dad is somehow involved with. The story's just kind of falling flat for me. I want there to be something more, like if this was happening in the background with other monsters, maybe it'd be more interesting, or if we just knew Kate longer, like, and she did some stuff that, like, every time we've seen her, she's either just helping, but she's not really very interesting, or she is like going through some like really big life emotional trauma or event, you know. We haven't really gotten many where she's just herself. They're trying to do a lot of character growth on Kate and Angel, and we already kind of have the character growth on Angel. Like, I don't know, we already knew that Angel killed his dad and his family, or Angelus killed them, and we knew that he kind of didn't live up to expectations. So the background that we got on this one didn't really do much for me. And then the background for Kate and her whole story. I don't even really remember it going anywhere. Like, we are getting all this background, but I don't remember Kate having a big climactic arc in any way. So I'm not sure if they just changed the plans for her or what her purpose is here. So I had a really tragic moment where I realized that the Blu-ray player that I have, the DVD player, it no longer supports Hulu, or Hulu is no longer supported on the player. So I had this like moment of panic before I realized that I own the Angel DVDs. So that was crisis averted tonight. So I just watched episode 16, which is called The Ring, and I liked this one. I think a little better than I've been liking them so far. It still drags in the middle. I'm not loving the pace of this season, and this episode, it reminds me so much of an episode from Star Trek that it kind of annoys me. I mean, I like it because I love that episode in Star Trek so much, but it's in Star Trek, the original series. There's this episode where they go to like a gladiatorial kind of place, a planet, and then Bones and Spock are forced to fight, and Bones is like, I don't want to kill anyone, which I guess you could also say they took that from history because there was a gladiatorial Rome in our real life where we actually force people to do that, which is just horrible to think about. But anyway, I liked the idea of them doing it with demons, and then Angel's trying to help the demons escape, and then at the very end they have that moment that's kind of comedic but also kind of dark of like, we just helped a bunch of demons escape. And we know that not all demons are evil, but some of them probably are. I like the idea of Angel got them all to work together, and they had this kind of like happy, uplifting moment where it wouldn't have worked out if not everyone had played their part. I also appreciate Wesley had his slightly darker moment where he was kind of talking to the one guy, and he's like, I'm gonna just beat it out of you, and they're like, oh yeah, what can you do? And then, you know, he has all his cool like James Bond moment where he shoots him and then tortures him by moving the nail that's through his hand. Like, that was pretty, man, Wesley. It's like all or none, you know, he goes all the way one way to the other in extremes, and I just, it doesn't make sense to me, but it's so fascinating to have a character that doesn't make sense to me. So excited to watch his growth, his arc as an adult, because when I was younger and I was a kid, I probably wasn't as aware of psychology and other people's understandings, and so this is my first time rewatching Angel all the way through since I was about 15. So I just watched episode 17, Eternity. I got the cat, he's sleeping. He was sleeping on my lap, but I moved so I could film my response because I was bumping into him. But anyway, oh, hi, cat. I mean, we have a lot in this episode because we have consumerism and, you know, the media and appearances and how much pressure people put on performing and appearances, especially in LA, but also in general, you know, and especially with women. And this whole idea of like, yes, being eternally young at the expense of anything is kind of what society pushes people towards. And then also we have kind of like it's not quite date rape, but almost an equivalent of that, like drugging people on dates. Very problematic, but also an issue that we face here in society. And I think it's really interesting to see the woman kind of take advantage of the man because we don't see that so often, but women definitely can be abusers. And we also have Angel turning into Angelus temporarily, even though it was very interesting because you feel sorry for the actress woman. Obviously she didn't know what she was doing. Like, she should not have drugged Angel at all, and she should not have wanted to become a vampire. Like, there were so many things that she did wrong, but she didn't deserve to die, and she definitely became the victim by the end when Angelus emerged and was hurting her. So I think it's a really interesting episode because it has all of those depths, but it also has a very straightforward story, and it doesn't hit anything too heavy-handed. So I appreciated that. So I watched both of the episodes with Faith, and I really like these episodes. When Faith first came in, I was like, I forgot just quite how psychotic and broken she was. And I could tell, you know, I like the idea of they're saying like she just needs an escape, especially when we compare it or add on to what we know from Buffy. Like, she was just trying to escape from her guilt and her pain of feeling like a terrible person and trying to be someone else. So she literally was like, I want to take over Buffy's life. I want to be Buffy. I'm going to be Buffy. Like, I'm going to stop being me. But you can't run away from yourself. And so then in this one, she goes to Angel, and it's like she's tempting him because she wants to die, and she wants him to kill her and take that pain away of hating herself so much. Like, self-loathing, I think, is what it is. And so it was a really interesting thing to see that, of like this person who does horrible things and is killing people and is torturing people, but she also feels terrible about it, and she's hurt inside, and like that Angel kind of is sees that that is a key for redemption, and he understands that like if you feel the pain, then you're not too far gone. We get Buffy who comes in, and we see the whole Angel and Buffy, and they have their probably the lowest point in the Buffy Angel relationship, when Angel's not jealous. Buffy hits Angel, and then Angel hits her back, and then they get in this disagreement about Faith because you know, Angel's saying this isn't about you at all, this is about Faith, but Buffy's coming from this perspective of Faith has literally taken her whole life and her identity and her boyfriend, and now she's taking Angel. At least that's the way that Buffy sees it. So we understand both sides. It's just really heartfelt. And then Angel has the beautiful speech to Faith. Like, I felt like there were a lot of moments where Angel talks a lot about redemption, and I love redemption arcs. This show does a really good job of that with many characters, but Faith in particular. I love the moment where Faith kills the monster that is trying to assassinate her, and then sees the blood on her hands and drops the knife. I think that's so interesting because it shows that she's finally ready to change. Like, she really is traumatized by everything that she did. I feel like she was just shutting out all the pain and the trauma with everything else because she was literally just torturing Wesley like maybe 24 hours ago, right? And she didn't seem to mind at all about all of that. She seemed like this crazy evil like Joker kind of character, like Joker from Batman. But then the next day we see that like, no, she's actually very horrified by what she's doing and what she's become. And then she takes the own responsibility to turn herself into jail, and we see that like maybe this isn't the end for Faith. Maybe there is going to be a good redemption for this character. So I watched the next two episodes, the one with Gunn, where we met Gunn, which I was really excited about. I really like this one. I love the storyline with him and his sister. I think sibling storylines, they're so heartfelt for me because I'm really close to my sister, so I love that. But also family in general, friendship, things like that, like, and that like the protectiveness. I love that storyline, and I think Gunn is a great character to add to the cast. I watched the next episode after that, which is the one where Lindsay from Wolfram and Hart kind of has a momentary change of heart and helps Angel sneak into Wolfram and Hart, and we've got some like espionage fun times going on, so that was really interesting too. And then Gunn, they got him to come in, and that scene is hilarious. I like Gunn. I think he's a great character. I'm glad that we were introduced to him. I think he has a strong backstory. I think he just gets better from here, so I'm excited to see more of Gunn. And I like Lindsay, and I don't like Lindsay. I actually hate Lindsay. I think I used to just think he was kind of cute. I don't think he's cute. I think I like that he seems like he cares about people, but then we're not really sure if he does or not. You know, I like him in this episode where he has that, you know what, I don't want the kids to be killed. Although I'm also kind of like, if you're letting other people get killed, like, where's that line? You know what I mean? Like, it's not like no one died and this is the first time this is happening. Like, if those kids were like 10 years older, would Lindsay have been okay with it? I don't know. But it was a fun episode, and we got to see Lindsay be good, and then I was so disappointed at the end. I don't know why they didn't stop it where Lindsay just takes the office and just closes the doors, because it was such a great scene where it looks like you're not sure if he's going to take it or not, and then he's walking towards the door, and then he closes the door. Like, that was awesome. But then they had him go sit in the chair and do the like supervillain look, which, I mean, he looks cool, but I was like, it would have been so much better if you just stopped at the doors shutting, because that was such a good moment. But now I only have one episode left, and I'm excited to watch it. I'm loving Angel again. I'm remembering why I loved Angel so much. So I think this season there are some good episodes and some bad episodes, but the beginning and the end for me is where it's like it starts out great and it ends pretty awesome too. So I just finished the last episode of season 1 of Angel, and I really liked this episode. Yeah, the past few episodes have been my favorite by far this season, except, again, I liked the ones with where Wesley came in and the original one, and I kind of like the one where Doyle died as well. There were definitely some highlights, but I thought the ending was really strong. I did feel like they packed a lot all at once, and it probably could have been like a 2-part finale and had a little bit more time, and I would have liked to see like Gunn at the hospital guarding Wesley and Cordelia, maybe something with that, but all in all, it was really impactful. A lot of things changed, so it definitely set the stage for season 2, which I'm super excited about. Some of my favorite episodes are in season 2. The only thing I don't like about season 2 is that Darla is in it, and Darla has come back from the dead. I'm hoping that maybe I'll like her storyline better now, as an adult, but as a kid, when I first watched it, I remember, like, I hated Darla so much, and I don't know why. I would say she's my least favorite Angel character, but everything else in season 2 I love, and I'm excited to see that. I'm also excited to see what they're gonna do for their office. I know what they're gonna do, but I'm excited to see that episode, because that's a good episode, and we did find out that their office exploded, and Cordelia's in the hospital, and Wesley's in the hospital. Angel is all on his own. Not really, because he has a gun, but, you know, more or less, like, Angel Investigations was destroyed, and it's going to be rebuilt, but we know it's going to be different because Cordelia now has way more empathy for others and compassion, and so she's growing as a character, and Wesley, well, Wesley's Wesley. And Angel knows he might have a chance to be human. I like the whole prophecy. Loved that Wesley messed up the translation, or I don't think he messed it up, but like he didn't fully understand what it meant until the end. That was a fun little twist on that, but I'm really excited for the next ones. I did like this one all in all. Those are my thoughts on Angel. Thanks for watching this vlog. Let me know if you like this, and maybe I'll do it in the future. I don't know. This is the first time I've ever tried vlogging my reactions, but I'll also put a more like cohesive reaction, well, not reaction, but like discussion video up about Angel season 1 and Buffy season 4. I hope to see you later. Bye.